Hello everyone. So we're back to the Xv6 operating system engineering course. I'm starting with the lab here. The lab was implementing sleep and says gives us some hints before you start coding with chapter 1, which I've done. Put your code in user sleep.c. Look at some of the other programs in echo.c, grep.c, or move.c to see how command line arguments are passed to a program, and add your sleep program to uprox in the makefile. Once you've done that, make Chimu will compile your program and you'll be able to run it from the Xv6 shell. If the user forgets to pass an argument, Sleep should print an error message. The command line argument is passed as a string. You can convert it to an integer using ATOI. Use the system called pause. The kernel sys proxy for the Xv6 kernel code that implements the pause system call. Look for syspause user.user_h for the C definition of pause callable from a user program, and user uses.s for assembler code that jumps from user code into the kernel for pause. So this is the part I didn't take a very much careful look, but instead I just took a look at a syspause call that's used in the pause call. I'll look at Kernahan and Rich's book, The C Programming Language, to learn about C. So here's my C code, which is you import the same things as the echo C. You'll probably be able to see the same type. If you want to see any errors that's coming out, you can remove one of the include files and try to compile. You just kind of see what I'm talking about. So, for example, if I remove the kernel / types h and then compile from here, then you kind of see the error messages saying there you have some unknown type here. What's this UN64? What's this uint? Yeah, that's because I'm missing the header file, which is a oh shooks, I forgot to save the state, but type.h. I believe this does work. Oh, fatal error. Okay, I think I forgot the plural. Yes. Okay, so that's the part that's the start of the sleep file. You can also import. You should also import the user.h header file, and here this argc is the number of arguments that are coming from the terminal. So say let me show you. If you do sleep 5, then this is going to be argc is going to be 2, including the first argument that you put in the terminal, which is a sleep, and the second argument is 5. So there are 2 arguments. So if you do sleep 5 random string text to ho ho, and this is going to be argc is going to be 3. This is the base idea. And if there's no input argument, say like doesn't put in any seconds there, then we're going to print can sleep, and you're going to print some error messages with the xcode 1. This fprintf has a file descriptor 2. We're giving 2 to this file, fprintf input, because this number is for any error messages. And as a hint, they gave us to use the pause system call, which is you can find it from the list of user function that we can call. And then if you look at the pause definition of the pause function, you can kind of see what argument it's taking and what it does to pause the program. But what's ironic is that if you look at the sleep, not the sleep, but pause function right here, you can go to the tag that they got the call from. You can kind of see what function call is being called. Here it's called sys underscore pause function, and then it sort of leads to like what kind of function we need to look at. Um, that function is pause is, oh, I could just do that pause and then go to syspause again. Oh, tag not found. Okay, interesting. But we can also do this in the, I think we were able to do this in the sys right. No, okay. But we were able to find it here. See the kernel. Yeah, let's use the VS Code. Codium. Sys pause. Yeah, that's a syscall. Yeah, you can see in the sysprog, the argument is taking the address of the argument and then as an integer argument, right? So that's why we're converting to integer. And what's interesting is that I think it's trying to set up the clock time here, and then once that's clock time is set, it takes the duration of it into sleep function, which I find quite ironic because we're writing a sleep function ourselves, but calling the sleep inside the syspause call, which is to me it doesn't make sense. So if he could just use this sleep function, then why do we have to call this again? Was my question. But it looks like from the definition here, the declaration here, it uses the ticks void parameter and ticks lock, spin lock. Interesting. Okay, so I don't know if this where this is coming from now. Sleep. Where's this coming from? Definition.h sleep doesn't really get to anywhere. Proxy. Okay. Kernel. Here's a sleep function. There's a log. What's a spin lock here? Spin lock is defined in spinlock.h. You have a logged and then character name, CPU holding the log. Oh, even the CPU has been abstracted away. So lots of interesting stuff to look at, but it's going to take a lot of time. We're going to get one by one as needs arise. So yeah, well, just a brief outlook of where the sys pause call is looking to actually stop the program. It was here. I'm not going to say this. And then going back to the kernel here. I already did the make chimu. So if you kind of write down the command, you can see the sleep. If you input sleep 10, then it's gonna sleep for I don't know exactly how long this is, but a certain seconds. Let's see if it does for sleep 1000, then it's gonna sleep longer, definitely longer than 10. Based on when I did sleep 10, it didn't look like it was 10 seconds. Neither the 0.01 microsecond, 0.01 second, like 10 microsecond, didn't feel like it was too fast either. So, but it's definitely pausing the program. Will and it's passing the test as well. So I'm gonna stop here and move on to the next one, which is 6.5. All right. Thank you for watching. This is still running. I'm gonna let's see if I can just force the pause. Okay. So here we were. See you next time.